Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another weekly live stream here at my YouTube channel. I have been away from crafting in my craft room for a little bit because I've been sick, but I'm back feeling much better and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. My plan is to use some new stamps, well, relatively new. They came out in January. Some new stamps from Sunny Studio as well as some dies and make a shaker card. That is the plan. I have a really rough sketch in my mind, but all of the supplies that I'm planning to use tonight, I have listed in the video description. Just click on that visual supply list link and it'll pop up and you'll see all the different products that I am going to be using. So let's start with, we need to stamp our images before we do anything else. Well, actually, I'll show you the card sketch so you have an idea of where we're going here. Okay, so this is my idea. Sunny Studio came out with these two die sets. One is the Trio Heart Landscape. It's the Window Trio Heart Landscape, so this one. So the hearts are landscape. But then there's also the portrait. And I thought I would do a landscape one and do, cut 6 window hearts or heart windows on the front of the card and have them be a shaker, and each heart is a different color of sequins inside the shaker. That's what I was thinking. But then I also wanted to use these really cute stamps. Let me get these out so you can see them over white. I stamped this one because I was playing with it for a minute. These really super cute stamps with these cats. And then there's also this other stamp set, and this one's the Cat Antics. And then this one over here is called Party Pets. So there are some dogs. There's 3 dogs and 5 cats over here. Yeah, 5 cats and 3 dogs. I'm going to do just cats because I'm planning to use this card and send it to the breeder who I got my 2 kittens from. She was wondering if I could make her some birthday cards that had cats on them that look like American Shorthair cats. So this is one of those cards. I've been slowly building up a collection of birthday cards to send her for her to use. So the plan is that these little hearts, they're sized perfectly to have the little kitties inside of them, once they're cut or whatever. So I just have to make sure that I have 6 images cut out that I could put inside the windows. So that is the plan. Or maybe I won't cut them out. Maybe I'll have them just placed inside the window. I think that could definitely work as well. I'll just have them, so I will actually color the background on, well, no, the cats do need to be cut out because they're going to be on, in front of the shaker area. Yes, that is true. Okay, so I'm going to use some hot press watercolor paper today, and then I'll be coloring them with some Distress inks. So I just need, oh, here's the one kitty that I tested out earlier. I'll just use this same sheet of watercolor paper. And you guys might remember the last time I was live, I discovered that the hinge on my Misty was starting to break, like it was sliding out. So I have moved to my new Misty. I moved on to my new Misty. I'm using the teal one. Okay, and let's get some of these images. Oh, sorry. Let's get some of these images stamped and ready to go. Alrighty. So we just need 6. It's a brand new Misty. That hinge is very, very tight. Okay. I'm thinking, well, the image that I stamped earlier would work great. So we'll do another one of that. I guess I could also just use that one that I've already started. Yeah, but we'll just do that. We'll use the one that I already started. But we need 6. Okay, so this one up here would be really cute. And maybe I'll orient them in that direction. This one's really cute too. So there's 3. And then 4. And I'll use the dies to cut these out. And I think I'll do this one, 5, another one that's kind of just peeking out. And then we just need one more. Actually, I think one of the hearts, well, I'm trying to decide if I want it to have the greeting in it. No, I don't. I don't want to have the greeting in it. We will have it be, which one? I guess we could have the 2. I don't know if that'll fit. We could try it. Oh, I have an idea. We'll have this one and have a balloon coming out. Oh, that would be so cute. We'll do that. Okay, so we have one more little kitty. And then from the other stamp set, I just need this one balloon because that's going to be coming from that one that's looking like it's holding the balloon. I think that would be really, really cute. Okay. So we'll just be coloring and then cutting out these 7 stamped images, or 6, I guess. For ink, I will use a waterproof black ink. My favorite is a VersaFine Onyx Black. Once again, this is hot pressed watercolor paper, so it's smoother than cold press. This Misty door is very stiff. Ooh, that's a great impression. I don't think I even need to stamp that twice. That's great. Get my baby wipes so I can just clean off these stamps. Versamark tends to not completely come off your stamp images unless you use a stamp cleaner, but I'm not too concerned. All right, so we're just using the one balloon from this stamp set, and then a bunch of the kitties from the other. Hello over in the chat, lots of familiar faces. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, these images are so cute. And they're going to be pretty easy to paint, especially because I'm painting them like American short hair cats. So they're all going to have the same coloring. If you were going to do different coloring, for different colors of cats, it might take a little longer, a little more brain power to come up with all the different colors, but this should be pretty easy. Okay, so here we have our cute little kitties. Ta-da! All right, and then I have a little palette here that I can smush my Distress ink pads down onto. And for the gray on all the cats, I've been using Hickory Smoke. And I'm going to use a really small brush. I'm going to be using a size 2 Escada. I'm going to turn this a little bit. I have a little cup of water over here so I can get that going. I've already have this little guy already painted, so I'm just going to come over here and I'm just basically adding where there would be shadow on each one of these kitties. I'm probably going to have to squish my ink pad down each time I come to paint one of these little guys. Starting with just a nice light gray so that I can build up color. I don't want to go too dark right off the bat. Such cute little kitties. This one's so cute. And I like that all of these cats in the Sunny Studio stamp set are pretty generic enough that you can use them for whatever cat you'd like. I'm picky about how cats look for card images, old stamps and things like that. And I really like their cats. They're very friendly looking. Just giving like a really easy bit of color. I'll come back in and add more detail, including putting a little bit of pink on their cheeks so it looks like they're blushing. But for now, I'm just adding some of this gray just around the outer edge of it. Need more ink. All right. Okay. Kat's asking, how are Fred and Kevin? Fred and Kevin are doing great. They were spoiled rotten by my friends Sika and Jennifer that were visiting this weekend. Unfortunately, both of them have already left to go home. But they were spoiled by their Aunt Sika and Aunt Jennifer. Okay. We take a little bit of worn lipstick. Just squish that off here on the side. And I'm going to use that for little pink cheeks and ears. I'll start with the ears. And I'm not sure what color I want the balloon to be, so I'm going to wait. In fact, I might wait until I have most of everything assembled, because I don't even know at this point what color will go behind the cats. I might want it to be a specific color. So I'm going to wait. I'll do it in a minute here, or after I have things kind of already moving. Okay. Just going to give a little circular little blush on each little cheek. So cute. All right, and then I'm going to grab some black soot because I need to add their little stripes. Hi, Amanda. Amanda's asking, will you do a video on how to color different breeds and different colorings of cats? You know, I actually did a video using Copic markers a while back, doing that with some different colors of cats. And I also have a series where I had some of you send me pictures of your cats and then I colored your cats. I'll have to look that up and see if I can find some links for you, but I know I've done it in the past. All right, I'm coming in with some black. I'm going to ignore like the stripe here on this little kitty. We're going to pretend that that kitty is a little American short hair. It looks like it has bangs. Isn't that weird? Give it some little stripies on his legs and on his tail. These are not really, really dark American short hair cats, but very contrasty, very white and black. Oh, these are so cute. I love these little guys. All right, give it some little stripies. Just notice they're like opposite directions, and then the same with these two right here. They're just like mirrors, mirror images of each other. They're so cute. All right, adding those little stripies. Being very, like I don't want to have a ton of these stripes everywhere. I don't want it to be overwhelming. I just want, you know, like a hint that, you know, it's a little tabby cat. Add some more little stripes. Okay. Kitties are pretty much done. I'm going to keep them really simple, especially because I plan to have really colorful colors behind them. Just kidding. I need to add some little stripes on this arm. There we go. Now they look pretty good. Oh, just kidding. I want to add the little stripes right there. I'm going to make that one thicker. Yeah, okay. There we go. Cheryl says, YouTube has been pulling up your old videos for me, like 4 to 6 years old. They're still fun to watch. That's great. Jill is asking what stamp set this is. These are the kitties from Sunny Studio Cat Antics. The balloon is from Party Pets, but Cat Antics is right there. Okay, I'm going to take my palette off to the side, and we are going to cut the front window of our shaker so that we can get going on the shaker bits. We're moving right along here. Okay, I've got a A2 card front, and let me get some of this stuff out of the way so I can do some die cutting. All right, and then the dies I'm using are, this is the, let's see, Sunny Studio Window Trio Heart Landscape dies. So there's going to be like 2 rows of 3. I'm almost tempted to make this 5 by 7 because then I'd have a little more space, but I think we'll be okay. I do want to have my greeting go in the middle between the 2 rows of hearts, so I am going to kind of separate them a little bit. I am wondering where my cutting plates are. Did they come home from this Concord and 9th office yesterday? They did, yay. Whew, for a minute there I was quite concerned. Okay, so here we are. Here are my cutting plates. Okay. The kitty in the middle needs stripes on its arms. Yeah, we're okay. All right. I'll put this one right up here. Get it kind of lined up side to side. And I'll run that through. Okay. Since I'm planning to have the back walls of each shaker be super colorful, I thought just having a white front for the card would be great. How cute is that? I love the little stitches. And these white hearts are adorable. Okay, now we'll do this one down here. And like I said, I want to have a little bit of space so I can put a greeting right there. So Could also just put the grading on, you know, like a die cut strip or something too. But I think it'd be nice if it was stamped. You know, still keeping it really simple. Okay. Oh, thank you, Delia. I think 5x7 would kind of spread it out a little bit more, so I am almost tempted to make it 5x7. I apologize for the coughing. I'm still a little bit sick. Okay, here we go. And then I can put my greeting right there. I think that'll be sized perfectly. But I do want individual shaker areas, so it might be a little tight. I could try to do a 5x7, but I think we're going to continue with the A2 and see how it goes. Okay, so I need to get a little bit of acetate for my front window, and I also need to cut out my little kitties because those are going to go on before the acetate. So let's grab some acetate. I think that'll work. Yeah, I think it's like A2 sized perfectly. Lovely. Okay, and we're going to cut out our little kitties. I'm tempted to fussy cut them just because I don't want any margin on them to like obscure the color behind them. I think fussy cutting them is going to be worth it. So even though it's going to take a minute, I think I'm going to do it because they're little, we're going to have them inside the little hearts just like that. You know, so I think having, you know, and then the color behind them. So I think having them fussy cut out will be worth it. And I don't need them like completely fussy cut out. I just need their top half really. So I'll do like a, let's see how much is actually going to show. Basically just the main body area. And thankfully, none of them, I don't think any of them are really going to be really difficult to cut out. I think it's definitely worth it. I guess I could also, actually, I'm rethinking this. I could actually cut them out using the dies. And I was planning to use Copic markers for the back wall so that it's like a really solid color. And I could definitely just color the margins on the die cut now that I think about it. Oh well, I'm in it. I've committed. Okay. Just want to make sure that I've cut enough for sure. And then this is the one where I'm going to have the little balloon coming out from the cat. So then it'll come out up above. It'll like pop out. I think that'll be really cute. Okay. Oh, Scrappy Cat, thank you. She's referring, Scrappy Cat is in the chat, and she's mentioning the butterfly card that I taught at the C9 Winter Retreat yesterday. We had a fun time with the C9 virtual event. And the C9 summer camp, the next event, is actually open right now for registration. So if any of you are interested in joining us for summer camp, which I think is, seriously, I think it's the best event out there that's offered right now. I've taught at summer camp every single year since they've had it, and it is one of my favorite events to do. The last few years, Concord and Ninth has flown in all of the instructors so that we're in studio all together, and it has been so fun. You know, we do a campfire. There are camp pranks. Last year I played a little prank on Greg. Greg is the owner of Concord and Ninth. That's also the company I do my line of products with. And last summer I played a little prank on Greg. He's the camp director. Yes, Betsy has been to summer camp multiple times. How many times have you been to summer camp, Betsy? Betsy's in the chat, Betsy Green. I know she's been to at least the last couple. Just wondering if she might have been to all of them. I'm going to skip cutting out the interior of the tail right now. I'll do it at the end, just because I don't want to have to handle that very intricate tail for too long. And you know what? Before I put the shaker together, I should probably stamp my greeting. I didn't even think about that. I'm glad I'm thinking about it now before I get to assembling everything. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and cut out that interior space. Betsy says, I've only missed the first one. I didn't really know about C9 then. I've done the past 3. That's awesome. I think the first one was summer 2021. Okay, cutting out this little interior tail is very difficult. I don't want to cut off the tail, but I can't get in there to cut it. All right, we'll just try to be very careful. Last night, Jennifer and Sika and we watched the movie Inception. Do you guys remember that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Elliot Page and oh my gosh, what's that guy's name? His last name's Hardy. Is it Tom Hardy? Is that his name? Who plays Ames in the movie? Jennifer had never seen it, and I had not seen it in many years, so I had forgotten most of it. And it was very good. I'm surprised I didn't wake up my mom, who was upstairs. We were in the basement watching it, and that movie can get very loud. And also, I mentioned earlier that Sika and Jennifer were spoiling Fred and Kevin, my cats. And Jennifer just laughs. She wants Kevin to get into trouble and cause mischief. And so she was encouraging him to play in the sink and be a naughty kitty. She's like, I love this. I love that Kevin is a little mischievous kitten. She loved it. Hey, Kelly Taylor's here. Kelly and I are going to do a little road trip together in April. I'm excited. I'm going to fly out to Ohio. We're going to do a little road trip together. A short one, not very long, but I'm excited. I haven't seen Miss Kelly Taylor since before the pandemic, so this will be fun. Betsy, that's what ants can do. Yes, I suppose so. But, yeah. But Sika is very creative. She was, I would never thought to do this, but we had picked up some breakfast items from Starbucks a couple days ago, and they put it in a bag that had a handle on the top. And she tore the little paper handle off the top, and then she let the cats play with it. She broke her bag that she had been carrying things around in, her paper bag from Starbucks, and gave it to the cats so they could play with it. and it really was the best toy because it was U-shaped because it was the handle. So she like put it around their neck, and then it was like stuck in their fur, and they just kept trying to get it out. Maybe it wasn't playful. Maybe they were annoyed, but but I thought it was a pretty brilliant use of, you know, just everyday item to play with the cats. Kind of like how cats, you buy them a nice cat bed, and then what do they lay in? The box that it came in. Too funny. Okay. One more little kitty. And I think this tail is to the side that's hard to cut out again. Oops. Scrappy cat. Isn't that what candles are for? Apparently. But you'll have to look at my Instagram for a video of Sika playing with the cats and just like loving on them and all up in their faces. Oh, don't look too closely on these fussy cutting skills, but I am going to fudge them a little bit and use a black marker on the edges that'll make them look like I cut them out even more precisely. We're going to fudge it just a little bit. No worries. Another something I've been watching recently. Ooh, and there's a new episode tonight. Not till late, so I'll have to watch it tomorrow. But the show Paradise on Hulu. Is anyone else watching that? I mean, we can't say much about it because you learn that there's a little bit of a twist in the very first episode. But fascinating show. Yes, Sika. Who knew she could play the piano? And I don't think Sika's in the chat tonight because she is getting ready to get on a plane. I think she might even be at the airport at this point. Yeah, this is the one that the side with the tail that's hard to cut. All right, I'll try to get in here for the, it's just really hard to get in on this little tail. And you know what? The tail probably won't even show because it's going to be in that heart window. But I still want it to look nice, just in case. Oh no, I can feel it like bending the tail. Like I'm trying to turn the whole piece and it's only turning the tail. Don't go away, tail. Okay. I don't think I finished my thought. Sika plays the piano beautifully. I didn't know that Sika played the piano. Yes. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to grab a brush tip marker and I'm going to paint the edges of my cutout kitties. I just have to find a brush tip marker first. I have like 5 million pens and markers in my drawer, but none are the brush tip. Come on, where are you? I keep picking up the same one. Okay, here we go. Here's one. Oh, and it's all like frayed. You can tell that this is what I've been doing with it. All right, let's zoom in here. Okay, so, oh, I know what. It was the Altenew marker that I've been using because it was very finely tipped and it was perfect for this. Where'd it go? Is it that Altenew? No. Is that it? No. Will this one work? Oh, this one will work. It's like a really fine tipped marker. Because now I'm going to take these and just color the edges with black. And it kind of hides any areas where you may not have cut directly on the line. If you're going to take the time to fussy cut your images, take a few moments and do this with a black marker as well. I think it's worth it. And then for this little tail, I'm actually going to turn it over on the back so I don't accidentally color what's not the edge. And I'm going around like this, and it'll get that interior area without coloring the front. There we go. So now I have all that interior that's colored, and you can also go in like this. And that just gets all those areas really well. Okay, a few more little spots on our little kitty. Ta-da! Kelly's asking about the Altenew marker that I mentioned. Basically, at this point, because I'm not going to be adding any more watercolor, or if I use Copics, I'm done coloring. It really doesn't matter what marker you use, other than if you were using alcohol markers, you don't want to use another black alcohol marker, because if you do, it could start to bleed into what you've already colored. But you know, if you've watercolored or whatever you've done, it really doesn't matter what marker you use. But the Altenew marker that I was trying to find, that I ultimately could not find, is basically like this tip of marker, just a really finely tipped brush marker. And it's great for getting into like the really small nooks and crannies when you're doing this particular technique. Just like painting all of the edges. All right, two little kitties. Oh, they're so dang cute. Okay. Oh, hey, Sika. You've just gotten the... Oh, good. I thought maybe you might already be at the airport. Your ears must have been burning. I was talking about you and how you were loving on the kitties. Sika finally met her little nephews. She was very happy. So I'm cutting out and coloring all of these little kitties. Also, some of you may have seen on my Instagram that there was another little kitten that was born at around the same time of Fred and Kevin. I've named her Little Miss Smoky because she has a different coloring pattern. And it's like a black smoky pattern. And she potentially has a family. They were the breeder contacted me because she wondered if, you know, I could kind of get the word out that this little kitty was looking for a home. And so a potential family is going to visit Little Miss Smoky this week, and hopefully it'll work out. She's not the typical American short hair patterning, so the breeder's contacts, you know, for all the people who were looking for a cat, they weren't necessarily interested in adopting this particular cat since she looked a little bit different. It happens, you know, like Fred isn't the traditional American short hair either, but we were like, yeah, we'll take a different looking cat. So we have a American short hair that's a little different from the typical look. And little Miss Smokey is a little different too. And she was actually one that we were considering getting before we decided ultimately on Fred and Kevin. Let me show you a picture of her. She's really cute. Let me see here. And then I can show you a picture of her when she was a kitten. She's adorable. Okay. This is Little Miss Smokey. And I call her Little Miss Smokey because look at the patterning on her back. It's like you can kind of see where the stripes are, but it's more like just a smoky stripe. She's so cute. I know she's got like this little, got a little white mustache and everything. Let me see if I can. She sent a video of her playing. She's so cute. The little kitten. She's basically just a week younger than Fred and Kevin. And what's funny is that we got some videos of all the kittens, probably when they were about 6 weeks old. And I screenshot this one cat saying, she's so cute, or I thought it was a he. This cat is so cute. And we thought that it looked like they were a telemarketer because of like the little jaw thing. And so I screenshot it, and it turns out it's Little Miss Smokey. That's the same cat, but like, you notice how it's got the little coming in, got one white arm, and you can't see this arm right here. You're not sure what it is, but it's got the little white mustache. And then if I go back to those original pictures, that's her. I love that she has one dark arm with a little white paw and then one white arm. I mean, she's so cute. She's so adorable. Anyway, enough cats. Not that we don't have enough cats right here. We just have this last one that we're painting the fussy cut edges. I called her Little Miss Smokey. Of course, whoever adopts her will pick a name, you know, of their choosing, but she'll always be Smokey to me. And for a minute there, because when we were considering getting that cat, we were calling it Telemarketer Kevin, because with the little thing around the jaw, it looked like had a headset on. And obviously, we didn't get that cat, but we kept the name Kevin. That was so cute. Okay. All right, we have all of our kitties. We'll get the balloon here in a minute. Let's stamp a quick happy birthday greeting on the front window of the shaker before we start assembling, because I think it'll be harder to do that if we already have the shaker part assembled. So here's that front wall. And I decided, since I was making birthday cards, that I would use, if I can find where it ran off to, my happy birthday words bundle. I think it was in the November release. But there's a good greeting in here that I could do just, what was it? Wishes for a special day. I thought that would be great. And that would be the perfect sizing to kind of go right in the middle there. Just like right here. In fact, if we're going to have this little dude right here, and then the balloon would be coming up right here, maybe I'll have it off to the side a little bit. Do I need it off to the side? The balloon will come up right there. I don't think it needs to be off to the side. I think I could have it directly centered, and it would be just fine. So, wishes for a special day. Just right there. And I'll use that same black ink. I'm just using VersaFine Onyx Black. There we go. Okay. And now we can start assembling. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to figure out where I want all the kitties and start gluing them on. I'm going to cough here. Hold on. I don't want a coughing fit too much. I hit the mute button and I'm going to take a drink of water so I don't start coughing again. Okay. All right, so we just need to figure out where we want all of these little kitties. I think I'll do it like that. And we'll just be gluing them just like right on the back. So I'm going to take a little bit of this glue. And I can just put a little bit of glue right there. And then just for those first 4. And then when I go to put the acetate on the back, I will adhere them better. I'm getting glue everywhere. What a mess. Okay. Probably could have just done a tape runner at this point, but that's okay. Put that little kitty right there. A little bit of tail popping out. That would be so cute. And then this little one down here. And we're going to do this one right here. But I have to make sure the cut part isn't showing too much. Okay, I think I want this one moved up a little. I want it more like that. Okay. And I think it might be easier to put just a little dab of glue on the very bottom of the cats and then put them in place. Just getting that glue off that one. Okay. I don't even mind this really short one here in the middle on the bottom because I do want to make sure that the shaker bits actually show through. So I don't mind if these little guys are, in fact, maybe I'll have him, oh, that's cute. I like him peeking out from the side. I'm tempted to do that with this one. Let's do that with this one. We'll have them peek out from the side. I like that. Then it shows more of the cat itself. Okay, I've got a little bit of glue hanging out right here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It looks pretty messy, so I'm going to clean that up. It's because my fingers had glue all over them. Okay, so now I can flip this over, and I'm going to do this acetate on the back. Now it's cut to exactly A2 size, so I'm going to grab some scissors and just trim off just a tiny bit so that I don't have to worry about getting it lined up on the edges exactly. Because that's a level of fussiness that I just don't have in me tonight. Right? Okay. You know, and I didn't even think about how I'm going to color all these things. You know, before we do that, let's take a pause here. And I need to figure out what the back wall of the shaker will be. So I'm going to do this because I'm going to need a little bit of guidance for where I'm coloring with my markers. So I'm just tracing the heart windows. I can erase them after. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. So now I've got just a little bit of that heart area. Got a little glue there too. I'm telling you, that glue went everywhere. Okay. So now I'm going to draw in some boxes so I know how big those areas need to be for coloring in with my Copics. Okay, no one's going to see all those lines because the colors are going to go completely beyond those areas. Now I can come in and erase the actual heart shape so that if it doesn't line up just right, it'll be fine. You could do ink blending, you could do Copics, you could do whatever you want for the colors on the back. But I also need to pick out my sequin colors. And I have a bunch of these sequins from Pretty Pink Posh from like 5 million years ago. And I thought these colors were just so cute. So let's pick out my colors. And I'll just make sure they're in the right spots. And I'm going to grab my Copic so I can get those correct colors so they match. Pull out my cart with all my Copics on them. Woo! Squeaky wheels. I have this cart under my desk on the opposite side of my island, so I had to go walk around the island to the other side and roll it back. Hey, Dana. Sorry about the coughing in your ears, y'all. Get some of that glue up. Okay. All right. So now let's pick some colors that are going to match our little sequins. Or maybe just like a tone or two off. Okay, I really like this orchid shade. I think that's really pretty. So maybe like RV09. I think that would be great. RV09 fuchsia. And then right next to it, I'm thinking like pumpkin. It's kind of like a reddish orange. YR09. We're almost going to do it like in a rainbow fashion. We're going to have those colors right there. And then this marigold. And I think that color could be Y08, acid yellow. And then I'm thinking like, so it's these three colors. I'm thinking like this color, and then the purple up here. So that shamrock, which is like a nice green. Maybe like G14. In fact, maybe I'll do that green right there. Yes, it is rainbow. I love it. And then we'll do this. Do I want cobalt or do I want cornflower? I think I want cornflower, but I'm going to do a little bit of a darker blue in the background maybe. We will do B26. I think that will look really nice. If I could find it, B26. And then for our pansy, a nice little purple up here. How about V17? Okay, so those are the colors we'll use. And then I can even just use the chisel tip because I'm just doing like a scribble. We just want a solid color in the background. Like super fast and easy. All right, RV09, put that back. Now we're on to YR09. Maybe I'll just go both directions. It's okay if it goes beyond that box a little bit. Acid yellow. Oh, I didn't get all of my heart erased, but that's okay. So these are the walls that are going to go behind the kitties. All right, moving on. We've got amethyst, V17. And then cobalt, B26. Ooh, that is a really pretty blue. I love it. Okay. And then the last color is G14, and it is apple green. All right, let's take a quick little peek. Let's make sure these all... Oh, that's cute. It's telling me I need to get a little bit more of that RV09. It's right up in that top corner. All right, everything else okay? That's lined up perfectly. Nothing else is peeking out, so that's great. This is an A2 card. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, so now we can start putting together our little shaker. We first need to glue the acetate on the back. So I'll turn this over. And I'm going to get just a couple little dabs of glue on our little kitties. And then I'll go around and get the edges of the hearts. So heart edges. Okay. And then clean off my acetate that has collected dust everywhere. I don't even know how that's possible. Get that centered as much as I can. Really press that down. I'm going to grab my 2 paper weights and just hold those in place. And while that's happening, I'm going to get my foam tape prepped and ready. Okay, so Scrapbook.com actually has some foam strips that are really thick. At least I think they do. Do they? Yeah, they do. They are 3 millimeter, and they'll be a good thickness for the shaker. So those are the ones I'm going to use, and I'll just take the release paper off the back, and then I can manipulate them around each one of the hearts because we want individual shaker colors for each heart. Letting that sit just a little bit longer. Then I can peel up each one of these. I can remove the release paper, and then now this is really bendy, and I can attach it. All right. So let's see here. I can just go right around each one of the hearts. Get my little scissors ready. Doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it, blocks off the entire area. I'll have to get another foam strip over here. Once again, removing that release paper. And I can just have it butt up against that heart that's already has foam, since it'll kind of trap the sequins right there. And I can do the same thing over here. Have that go around. Come right here and I'll cut my foam. Oh, cut a little bit too long. Put it right up against that other piece of foam, so that'll trap all the sequins. Okay, and then, you know what, this one's a little short. I'm gonna save it and do a new strip. Barb's asking about making sure the acetate sticks to the glue. The particular glue that I've used, I haven't had any issues with, but so it might just be the type of glue you're using. If the acetate peels up at some point. Okay. Bring that around that corner, and then I can use this piece that I already had cut. Close off that area. All right, get a new foam strip. I'm going to peel off the release paper. We'll just go around. And then I'll just need to put a couple other little pieces of foam just to fill in the gaps around the outer edges. Okay. So some are a little too close to the hearts, so I'll have to stop and then continue on. We just want to make sure we don't have any sagging areas on the finished card. Do that one right down the middle. And then I have this right along the top. And then down to this corner. All right, so when I actually start assembling the shaker itself, you know, putting the sequins in and everything, I like to use the corner of a MISTI or a Score Pal or something like that to help me line everything up. I think I'll just use this Score Buddy because I've got it right here. But I like to put it up into that corner, and that's going to kind of help hold it in place while I move everything around. Need to peel up the release paper on these other strips of foam. Okay, the other thing I need to make note of is that when I put this on, I'm going to go like this. So I'm just going to turn it over because the pink needs to go right here. The purple sequins need to go right here. So I'm going to have this up here as a reference while I start to move in all of these sequins. Also, I wish I had a small spoon to dig out these sequins, but I guess I'll just do like a piece of cardstock or something. Oh, I know what I could use. Hold on. These little triangle trays. Well, that might not be enough, actually. I just have a little, we'll just cut a little strip of, this is a little piece of spare black cardstock. Okay, and then I can just like dip it in. Ooh, this could be dangerous. We're going to bring in the orange. Just a little bit at a time. Spread that around. Is that going to be enough? Maybe a little more. Okay. Close that up. All right, the blue down here. Okay, that's going to be plenty. It's probably almost going to be too much. Got my shamrock open. Let's go down in this corner. It's kind of helpful that this paper is not staticky. There's no oils on it, so they're not sticking too much. Okay. Let's get that purple. It's convenient that the Copic marker went, you know, it bled through and showed on the other side of the cardstock. Because then I can see what colors I need to use. Okay. This one's like stuck to the side of the foam. Oh no. That will be a problem. Come, little sequin. You can't be there. Oh my word, it's really stuck. Okay, there we go. And this one really cannot be on the side like that either. There we go. Okay. A little bit of card surgery there. Okay, then we were going to do this orchid. Oh, these colors are going to be so cute. And then the yellow. Marigold. Okay. You know what I forgot to do? I was going to adhere the back wall to a card front before we do anything. So I'm going to stop, very carefully move this off to the side. And we're going to put this on a card front. I mean, really, once we do this, the card's completely done, except for that balloon. So, okay. Using just some tape runner adhesive on the back. Make sure my card is opening the right direction. And then putting that down. I guess it's kind of nice that I hadn't adhered it, because then I could turn the card over and see what the colors were to make sure I had the sequin placement right. So that kind of worked out. Okay. Putting those right into the corner. Flipping this over the right direction. And then I can just kind of feel into that corner. And then press down. Okay, so I'm really going to press. I can even open the card so I can feel where everything is. And I'm pressing down, making sure everything adheres together. And then we just cross our fingers and hope that everything stays put when I flip this back over. Okay, that's cute. Okay, I love that. And there's just enough. Because if I go like this, the sequins are mostly at the bottom of the hearts, and then they can still move. That's cute. Okay, let's figure out this little balloon. I'm thinking maybe a yellow balloon. It could be holding a yellow balloon. That'd be cute. Or if I wanted to stamp from the other stamp set, there's this, it would be these hearts. That would be right there. That could be pretty cute too. Tell me in the chat, one single heart or the heart balloons. Oh, I kind of want to do the heart balloons. And I could also stamp a couple party hats, and I could add the party hat to the cats. That would be really cute. That would be really, really cute. Adding some party hats, and then I could bring in some of these other colors as well. I really like that idea. Oh, and I could do because there's 3 heart balloons. Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think it's going to have to be the hearts. So let's stamp the heart balloons and some party hats really quick. Because I think they'd fill in that little gap perfectly. Okay. And maybe we'll do just a few of these little party hats. I think there's just 2 anyway. Yeah, there's just 2. Using that same black ink. Beth, they were fussy cut. The cats were fussy cut. So I'll have to fussy cut these little hats and also the heart balloons. Although I'm thinking maybe I'll die cut the heart balloons and then just fussy cut around the balloons themselves, because I do need the strings. Okay, cleaning off those stamps really quick. I'm tempted to just use Copic markers on the balloon and the hats so that they match the colors that I used before. I think I might. It's going to be a combination of watercolor and actually, no, I'll watercolor them. It's okay. I just had a moment where I was going to do differently, but no, I'll watercolor with Distress inks. Okay. All right, for the balloons, we will do mustard seed, picked raspberry, and faded jeans. I think those would be good beginner colors. Okay. Faded jeans, picked raspberry, mustard seed. Let's see, and I think I'll have the mustard seed be the heart in the front. Adding the color on the outside edge, getting a wet brush, and then I'm just going to kind of pull the color in like that. While that dries for a moment, I'm going to take the blue color and I'll just color these other spots. Hit this with the heat tool. So that I can paint right up next to that yellow heart. Once again, I'm just taking the color around the edges, and then I'm going to get my brush wet and help pull that color in. It doesn't want to move very much, so I'm going to have to add a little more color to my brush. Get that moving a little bit. All right. I think I could probably safely paint this blue over here as well without it bleeding too much. Just adding a little more of that blue shade. All right, gonna grab some pink down here. Go all the way around that little hat. And we need a purple, so I'm gonna grab Wilted Violet. And I'll do that on the top little party hat, and then maybe I'll do some of these stripes. And I'll grab, let's see, Mowed Lawn is probably the closest to that. A little bit of Mowed Lawn. All right. And once the balloons are dry, I'm going to do a pattern on them. I'm going to take some of the Wilted Violet and do just big polka dots. I think that'd be really cute. All right, I think I'll do purple again for the heart, and I'll do just some stripes. In fact, maybe I'll fill them in. Just for a little texture, you know. And then that orange color is kind of like it's like a reddish orange. I guess ripe persimmon would be closest. And I'll do some smaller polka dots, or maybe I could do some stars. No, I'll just do some smaller polka dots. It's hard to get like actual polka dots with this little tiny brush. I could almost make them into little hearts. That'd be a little too hard at this point though. Okay. I almost wish I wouldn't have done that orange. In fact, let's do this. We'll make it more tone on tone so it's not bright yellow. I feel better about that. Okay. All right, I'm trying to figure out how I want to do these strings. Let's see. I really regret that yellow balloon. I wish it was a different color. Hold on. We're in it. We're fixing it. The rest of the card is so dang cute. I don't want that one balloon to drive me crazy. Okay. I do like the blue with the purple polka dots, so I'm going to do just a blue heart balloon. All right, we'll do that same pink. And we'll put the yellow in the back. And maybe we'll just leave it as a yellow balloon and not do anything to it. Yeah, the one balloon looks like it has an illness. Okay. I need a little more wilted violet. And we'll just do those polka dots once again. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be better. All right. More of those stripes on the pink balloon. Okay. And then for the yellow, I'm thinking I might just leave it as is. Or I could do a little crisscross pattern in the orange. Let's see, what do I want to do? I think I do want to do some sort of pattern. I'll just do... I could just leave it as a stripe. Simple. Leave it at that. Okay. All right, let's put these dudes away really quick. Okay, I hit this with my heat tool so just to make sure everything's dry. Okay, and then I'm still not quite sure what I want to do with those strings. Because I do... Okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm just going to fussy cut these balloons. This might be crazy, but I'm going to fussy cut the black lines. And then I'll just have to glue them down. So they'll be like little itty bitty strings. It's kind of crazy, but I think it will be worth it. And thankfully, the watercolor paper I'm using is thick and it's pretty sturdy. Oh no, it cut out. It peeled off the back of that. That's okay. We'll be fine. I'll still get the strings in the right spot. Oh, a white gel pen for the patterns would have been cute too. All right, let's get these hats. I don't know if you guys can hear, but there's someone in my neighborhood whose car alarm is going off. It's really annoying. I hope your car's okay. Go check your car, please. Oh my word, these little party hats are so tiny. Okay. Oh, but they'll be so cute. Stop it. Oh, good. You guys can't hear that. The car alarm going off. I'm glad my mic's not picking it up. Okay. I'm going to use that same black marker I used before on the fussy cutting. Oh, car alarm finally stopped. Just going around. Painting all those edges that are still white. All right, I'm not sure which kitty I want wearing the hat. Maybe those two. That's pretty cute. All right, I'm going to go around the balloons. I don't think I'm going to go around the strings. I'll just let them be mostly white edges. I will come in and get the bottom of the balloon though. Okay, so I didn't even think about the balloons hanging off the edge of the card. Oops. The single balloon would have been fine. Do I want to change it to the single balloon? I could still do the single balloon. Oh, I kind of like the single balloon. Dang it. I guess I could just cut the one heart balloon, the blue one that I like. I could do that. Oh, that's better. Yeah, I think that's better. That's cute. All right, so I'm just gonna do the marker on these edges so it looks a little more perfectly cut out. Now I can get this edge a little better too. Okay, let's glue these little cuties on and then we'll be done. 90 minutes for a detailed shaker card. I'm not mad at it. Make sure I have a little glue on that string. And I can kind of get the little balloon on there just right. Oh, that's cute. I like that the little hats will stick out from the heart. I wonder if I should have it up tilted. No, in the center is good. We'll put it right there. Ta-da! This little guy right here looks like Kevin. I mean, he's very similar to this guy right here. Oh, I forgot to color their little tongue. We must rectify that situation. And then they have their mouth is open. There we go. This little one has its mouth open too. So maybe I will just do a little bit of pink right there. Like a little, or it's its tongue actually. There we go. So dang cute. All right. So here is the finished card. All those little shaker bits. I love it. That turned out so cute. I love all the colorful back walls on the hearts. It really makes it stand out. What a cute card. So just a reminder that the stamp sets I used today, and they do have coordinating dies, although I didn't use them today because I decided to fussy cut. Let me get these back in their packaging, or back in their storage pockets. But the one with the heart balloons and all that, that is Party Pets. I don't know if you can see that at the bottom there. I'm going to move these dies behind the stamp set. I really should do that all the time. Okay, so Party Pets from Sunny Studio. There are coordinating dies. I cut them apart because I didn't know if I was going to be using them today or not. Did not use them, but they're cut apart. So that's good. And then we used Cat Antics from Sunny Studio as well. And then the heart dies are actually the Sunny Studio Window Trio Heart Landscape. And there's a portrait version as well. I'm trying to grab the other dies here. Here we go. There's other little things that go in the center here, but I think they fell off in my drawer here. Yeah, there they are. So I had a rag on top. But they're like in this set, in the landscape set, there's like a little heart, and there's a lock, a heart with a lock, and then a little key. And you can put the top of the lock on there. And then for the portrait one, you can build a little truffle, a little chocolate or a cupcake on top. So that's the die set. These are two separate die sets. There's the landscape and then there's the portrait. But I like the hearts. And the hearts that it cuts out are really cute. It has this little stitching line that's adorable. So what a cute die set. They are linked down below in the video description if you're interested in these products. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. This was so much fun. I will catch you for a regular edited video later this week. Thanks for watching. That was the edited replay spiel. Now for all of you watching live. Usually I give you a heads up. I'm really not ending right now. If you have any questions or anything that I missed, I'm sure I missed some, please repeat them in the chat so that I can catch them. Yes, the heart balloon echoes the heart cutouts. That is very true. I'm just going to put some scissors away and get rid of my trash while I'm sitting here. Might as well. Okay, I'm going to scroll up and see if I caught anything, any questions that I need to answer. La, la, la. Carol says, I love how you saw this in your mind before you started creating. Well, you just sketch it out a little bit in order to really see where it was going. Yes, Andrea, a good reason not to clean your palette right away because you might have to go back and like paint a cat's tongue. It's too funny. Yeah, I think it was worth fussy cutting and also cutting out the one heart. I think that was worth it. Okay. Do I know how Jennifer's doing? Heard she was sick. Yes, Jennifer has a sinus infection and a double ear infection, but she got meds. She slept really well last night, and I could just tell she was feeling a little bit better. So I think she's on the mend. She is flying home right now, however, and a plane can really mess with your ears. So send her all the positive healing vibes so that she doesn't have a ruptured eardrum. Apparently that has happened to her in the past. It's one of the reasons why she pushed her flight home back until later in today versus this morning. So, what is this ring made out of? I have no clue. It's an Ultra Human smart ring. Like sometimes it lights up when it's, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like circuitry on the inside. But it like tracks my sleep and all sorts of stuff. Let's see here. Any other questions? How did I come up with Fred and Kevin's names? Just like the names. There's no rhyme or reason. But someone pointed out that in the old TV show, The Wonder Years, the character's name was Kevin and he was played by Fred Savage, which is kind of a weird coincidence. But basically just Kevin and Fred. Fred's actual full name is Emperor Friedrich. He's a fancy cat. And Kevin is Kevin Waffle. That's his full name. Too funny. Can I link where to get the black pen? That black pen, I don't know that it's for sale anymore. It came in like a subscription box for lettering snacks like years ago. But the Altenew one that I was looking for that I really love, that one is part of their set of like fine liners. Let me see if I can find that actual pen really quick to show you because it's a really nice one. Hold on, I know it's in my drawer here. I just couldn't see it as I was looking earlier. It's with a set of pens that look like this. I think you get like 5 pens or I'm not sure. I've got a drawer full of pens here. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Fine liner brush. This is the one that I've been using as of late. That's from Altenew. In fact, maybe I'll leave it out on my desk here so it's easier to find next time. But this is the one that I've been using, and it's very similar. In fact, it might even be identical to this one. Oh, this one has a little bit of a smaller brush. It was Plumchester, that's the brand. But the Altenew one, oh, they're about the same. They're very similar. So I've mostly been using the Altenew one. It comes in a set of, I think, 4 or 5 brushes. Or not brushes, pens. 4 or 5 pens. Let's see here. 4 pens. Geraldine is verifying or saying that it's 4 pens. And I'm going to leave this one out so I don't lose it again. All right, I'm going to close up for the night. Thank you so much for joining me for my little shaker card tonight. This was a lot of fun. So cute. I love that, you know, mostly contained within the hearts, but you've got some little things peeking out, the little balloon and the hats and everything like that. I think it's just super cute. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you all later this week. I have an edited video that I filmed during a member live here for my premium members of an envelope of some mail art. So I have it edited. Have I done? Yeah, I have done the voiceover. I've done everything's ready. In fact, I think I did the voiceover when I was really sick last week. So my voice might be really weird, but I'm going to share that probably on Wednesday. So I will see you on Wednesday for a regular video, and thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely Monday evening, and I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for joining me.